Hello, I'm Craig Summerall. Thanks for joining me again as we continue reading the book Monday Morning Choices by David Cottrell. The Legacy Choice, Give Your Gift. Jim Spire has been giving of himself through the Boy Scouts for many years. Drawing from personal experience, he provides this interesting insight. In your mind's eye, take a look at any 100 boys who have recently joined Scouting. Of those 100 boys, rarely will one ever appear before a juvenile court. 12 of the 100 will receive their first religious contact through Scouting. 18 will develop hobbies and interests that will last all their lives. 8 will find their future vocation through badge work in Scouting contacts. 1 will use Scouting skills to save another person's life, and one will be credited with saving his own life. 17 will become future Scout leaders and will give leadership to additional thousands of boys. For the sake of comparison, according to the Justice Department's report on juvenile crime, there were 2.3 million juvenile arrests in the United States in 2001. Of that group, 1,400 were arrested for murder. Approximately 500,000 arrests were made for burglary, theft, auto theft, and arson. More than 105,000 youth were arrested for vandalism. 37,000 were arrested for carrying weapons, and 202,000 were arrested on illegal drug charges. What's the difference between the Scouts and the arrested juveniles? Of course, many factors could come into play, but one obvious difference is that the Scouts have someone guiding them, a mentor who provides light through the pitch-black darkness of making choices. The choice of legacy, whether as a Boy or Girl Scout leader, a business mentor, a teacher, or a volunteer counselor, is an important choice and a necessary choice for you to achieve success. Moreover, without people choosing the legacy choice, our society would be stymied. There would be no positive role models, examples, endowments, helping hands, help for the homeless, or voice for the voiceless. Think back to your own childhood. Without too much effort, you can probably name an adult mentor outside of your family who left an imprint on your life. But also, you can probably envision that person's face or a specific activity. In most cases, these important individuals were passionate about their mission, whether it was showing you the ropes in your first job or showing you how to dribble a basketball in elementary school. They not only knew the importance of giving of themselves, but also saw you as an important recipient of their gifts. Getting the cold, hard, and valuable facts. When I first began my business, I went to visit Fred Smith, an author and mentor to many successful business people in Dallas. He is one of the wisest men I've met, but his approach to mentoring sessions was far from coddling me. Instead, he was brutal with me as he provided information that was honest and that I value even today as some of the most important information I would hear. He painted no pretty pictures, served up no pie in the sky. Instead, he immediately seized my attention and told me not only how it was going to be, but how to avoid certain unavoidable obstacles in the future. The times I spent with Fred Smith provided me with more information and more momentum than any college degree or any experience in the field. More than once in my own presentations and in my books, I've referred to Fred's guidance. It is his legacy that I value more than words can express. But what would happen if there were no willing mentors like Fred Smith or Jim Spire? Without mentors, we would not have the wealth of past experience to call upon or the wisdom to look beyond the horizon for the next strategy or direction. Without willing volunteers, how many thousands of children and young adults would go without exposure to quality experiences and individuals with something to share? Many successful men and women hold in common the choice to leave behind a legacy that will live long after their breaths. After all is said and done, are we here to give a bit of ourselves to others? Aren't we ultimately defined and remembered by what we give? Why should we choose to give? It takes a lot of endurance to put other people first, particularly when they're often so preoccupied with themselves that they don't seem to notice our efforts. Furthermore, our schedules are normally full even before we start giving our time and energy to others. But we should choose to give because it's the right thing to do. People and peanuts. George Washington Carver not only knew something about peanuts, he was also intimately familiar with the human condition. He understood the importance of legacy, of giving to others, when he said, "How far you go in life depends on your being tender with the young, compassionate with the aged, sympathetic with the striving, and tolerant of the weak and the strong, because someday in life you will have been all of these." When asked about giving of ourselves, another wise sage counseled, don't expect the people you help to be there to help you when you're in need yourself. Excellent advice. The purpose of giving is not to receive back in full measure. If you give solely with the expectation of receiving something in return, prepare to be disappointed. After all, if expecting something in return is your reason for giving, you're really not giving, but swapping. If you receive something in return for your gift, what you receive is a bonus, not a repayment of debt. When you put someone else first, your gift smooths off the rough edges that make human relationships difficult. You're rounding off the corners that have prevented the square pegs from fitting into society's round holes. But don't expect a thank you note or a pat on the head. Choose to give because it's the right thing to do. Thanks for watching and have a great week.